Okay, so the code is BMM1313, computer programming. And of course, you can read the synopsis and everything. You are required to basically to obtain this course outcome, which you create programs and create functions and things like that. Okay. So in terms of your syllabus, these are the chapters. So you can click on this link and you can download these materials. Feel free to go through it. So we have 7 chapters, starting from computers and computing fundamentals. This is very basic intro. I'll just do a quick run through. And then we'll go into program structure, printing, and comments. This is where you will be learning how to create your first program, a console-based application, to get some input from the keyboard and then to display it on your screen, things like that. So this would be the basic application development. And then on your chapter 3, this is where the important part, because you will learn how to use variables, how to perform arithmetic operations. Since majority of you guys are pure mechanical engineering and some of you guys on automotive, so I believe you have a lots of equations related that you need to apply and use in your on your engineering field. So involving like mathematical equations, things like that. So that is why on chapter 3 we'll be looking into the a little bit deep into the operations, the equations, math functions, things like that. Okay, and then on the chapter 4, you will learn input and output. This would be more on scanf, printf, which is basically getting input from the users and then displaying on the screen. But keep in mind, if you take a look at chapter 3, after you complete the first part of chapter 3, you actually have to go to chapter 4, complete the chapter 4, and then return back to chapter 3. Because the math functions, the operations, the equation requires you to get input from user and also process it and display it. So therefore, you need to have a complete knowledge on chapter 4 before proceeding with mathematical functions. And then on chapter 5, you will learn on control structure and looping. What does control structure and looping means? It's basically conditions, which means your application able to process conditions. If you have to do this particular information is provided, what can you do with it? Else what? So things like that. So it's on conditions. So that's something you'll be learning on chapter 5. Looping is basically something like if you have to get a certain input from a user in a repetitive manner, which means they don't have to key in once, but they have to key in multiple times the same question. So things like that we'll be using looping. So we will execute the looping depending on the number of repetitions. So that's where you learn on chapter 5. Chapter 6 are basically functions, or there is another term. It's called modular programming. What it means is basically to group certain codes, certain lines, certain execution and statements into a group which we name it as function. So it will perform the similar actions. So those are functions in terms of grouping. And then finally, it would be numeric arrays. Okay, even in a computer science student, this is one of the tough chapter, understanding storage, because this is related to information storage. How are you going to store the information in a bigger storage block? Because in variables, you are basically going to store that particular type of data only, but array will be more than one. So you can treat this as a database for chapter 7. All right. So those are the chapters. In terms of assessment, okay, the best part, the good news, I think you guys will be happy that you don't have final exam. So you don't have to worry about, sitting for final exam. But your marks or the 100% consists of this, which is basically you have 2 quizzes, 5% each. It will be given on, starting from next week. So 10% over here, and then you'll have 2 assignment. Each assignment weighs about 10%. So 30% in total, yeah. And then usually the tough part or the difficult part, I would say the difficult part would be the test, your midterm test or test one. You'll be given case study and you have to solve it within the given time. So in this case, so yep, your test one will be 20%, test two will be 20%. So in total, it's already 70. And of course, the group project, this will cover 30% of your marks. And it requires you to, yep, of course, be an expert for all the topics. So these are the assessment. So coming back to this course, yeah, the important things. You might be wondering that, okay, why am I learning computer science subject, you know? Okay, about that, I'll explain on our first slide. So meanwhile, I would like to let you guys know in terms of learning. If you take a look at this link that's given in the column, this is from NESO Academy. It's widely used. There's 169 modules or videos related to C programming. So if you click on it, you can check it out here. So if you're first time, I would suggest you please start from the first video, okay, because they go in a little by little in detail. So you can access these videos and learn. Okay, in terms of tools, since you guys are on the first semester, and this would be your first time actually looking at this course or programming, or maybe you already play around with, you know, like mobile apps development or things like that as your hobby or whatsoever, then it's good. For those who first time, okay, these are the tools that we will be using. We have code blocks, dev C++, we have online GDB. Okay, for this course, throughout the semester, we will be using code blocks. So this will be our main ID or platform for your program development. So we'll be using code blocks. If at all, anyone have any problem with code blocks, because I use both Mac and also Windows. So code blocks doesn't run well in Mac, but if I want to do it on mobile, on the go, I will go for the online compiler or online tool, which you can access from this link. It's called online GDB. Okay, this doesn't require any installation whatsoever. All you have to do is just go to this link and you will be able to create your codes. But of course, do not forget, select the appropriate language. In our case, we are using C. So you can run the codes from this link, or if you think that no, I don't like the look and feel of that website, you can always, yep, Google for other options. So we have this. Okay, programmers and tutorial points are some of the I would say portal or websites for C learning that is recommended. Okay, feel free to explore that. So yeah, you just click here and then you click run and then it displays. We will go into details this later. So there's so many other options. So pick the one that you're comfortable with, because if I'm on mobile, I like to use this. If I'm on my Windows, I use code blocks. But for now, we'll be just using code blocks. So coming back to here, here's some instruction on how to install code blocks, how to install the dev C++. I think we have time. Yeah, we have time for our lecture session today. So I will show you guys on the installation and setup. All right. So next part, here are all the notes, complete notes for the entire semester. Yes, please go through it. This is more on your self-learning. Okay.